What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again. I'm going live again, as y'all can see, and I'm gonna talk about a really special topic that's is near and dear to my heart, to your boy. I'm gonna talk about some of the worst advice that I see people getting, men and women, and why it's so difficult for men and women to succeed in dating and in life in general. But before I do, I want to give y'all some of the things that y'all need to do while I'm on this live. First of all, you need to hit the like button. Let's get these likes up before I even go forward. Likes. Everybody make sure you hit the likes, okay? That's really important because that's for the YouTube algorithm. So they show me a little bit more love. So make sure you guys all hit the like button. I immediately hit that like button, all right? Also, for people who want to ask questions, use the super chat feature that's at the bottom. It's the cash symbol that's at the bottom. Make sure you contribute to the chat. That keeps me going, keeps me being able to do this because I don't get paid no real money off of YouTube views, all right? So, you guys got to contribute to these super chats so that, to the live streams and to the super chats for me to keep being able to do it, right? You know what I mean? Hey. I know people have a sense of entitlement. You should be giving out the advice for free. I make videos every single day. We shouldn't have to give you no money if we want to ask questions. You should just answer them. You do your job for free. So I can come to your job and I can get something for free, right? So for anybody who does marketing, anybody who does any type of film work, I'm gonna need that about you. If you got clothes, food, you run a restaurant, I'm gonna need that free food about you. For those of you who feel that I should be doing what I'm doing for free, y'all need to go ahead and let me get that medical care for the free 99. All right, so because this does take something for me to do these live streams, I want y'all to hit that super chat feature. Ask questions. If you don't have a question, use a sticker and make sure you all are contributing to the chat. Show some love. If you ain't got it, you ain't got it. But if you do, show some love and contribute to the chat. That keeps it going. All right? Yo, that's what's up, natural girl. That's what's up, nature girl. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what's up. All right. So I'm going to talk about some of the worst advice that people get. And this really is one of the things that destroys, I feel, have destroyed the fabric of our society in almost every first world country. And it's you deserve. The concept of what you deserve just for the fact that you were born. You deserve love, you deserve money, you deserve to make a good living. You deserve to have a top-notch family. Yo, everybody that's in here, hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like button before we even keep going. Hit that like button. It costs you absolutely nothing to push a button. Come on, man. That's the beginning. As soon as you get on, make sure you're hitting the like button. All right, so that's what we get, especially when we live in these first world countries. What's up, Tish? What's up, La Peaches? LA Peaches. I think it's LA Peaches. But what's up? I see y'all coming on here consistently. I like that. So this is what we get. We get people who say, you deserve. You deserve. I don't know if y'all remember Lil Scrappy's mom on Love and Hip Hop when she was like, I deserve to be loved. I'm like, this is what you get. Like, I deserve this, I deserve that. I deserve to have money. I deserve to have a nice car. I deserve to have this dream life. And what people don't realize is if you deserve it, then who doesn't? So that's irrelevant, right? What you deserve is irrelevant because you tell me the person, we were all babies at one time, right? You tell me the person that deserves to be born homeless. You tell me the person that deserves to be born in a third world country where they're starving, don't have access to medicine, don't have access to education. Who deserves that? Who deserves to be born HIV positive? Who deserves to be born with cancer? Who deserves to be born to a family of drug addicts or abusers? Talk to me. Make it make sense. What person deserves that? Nobody. So clearly what you deserve has nothing to do with it. Otherwise, your ass wouldn't have got to be born in America or in England or in whatever other first world area that you were born in. You would not have been born somewhere like that if we all get what we deserve. We would have all been born in the same shack, shanty town, whatever struggle. Even if you were born in the projects in America, bruh, you need to travel. Because if you travel a little bit, you'll realize you were not born into poverty. Your ass was not born into poverty. Okay? You do not know poverty until you go to a third world country and you see the things. Matter of fact, you could have been born in the projects in America and you're not even poor for America. You're not even poor for America. When I was living in Tennessee, I was on this volunteer trip. I'm gonna tell a little short story, I guess. When I was living in Tennessee, I went on this volunteer trip. And it was like I was in high school. And we went out to see these families who were basically living in shacks with no running water. I'm not saying their running water got cut off. They did not have the capability to get running water or electricity in the places that they lived in. This wasn't in the 1600s or the 1700s, or this wasn't in even the early 1900s. This was in 2000. You know what I mean? Like, these people were living in abject poverty, and they weren't even poor for some other countries in the world. They weren't even poor. That's what I'm trying to say. So when we look at what we deserve in this concept of what you deserve and what you're supposed to have, it's this thought process that you're supposed to have love and you're supposed to have happiness and you're supposed to have the dream life and all of this stuff, and you just get that. And if people don't give it to you, then they're the bad guy. This is what causes relationships to be horrible. This is what causes life to often be horrible. You're not happy with the job you have. You're not happy with your family, with your parents. I was talking to a kid the other day just about really showing his parents respect. And this fool had the audacity to say, I didn't ask to be here. You didn't ask to be here. Life is the greatest gift that you have ever received. And if it isn't, it's because you ain't doing anything with it. If your life is not the greatest gift that you've ever received, it's because you are not doing anything with it. And that is your fault. No matter what you've been through, I understand we've been through different stuff. We all got traumas and all this kind of stuff. But take whatever traumas you've been through. There's somebody else been through that and worse. There's somebody else been through that and worse. And they get to the end of the rainbow. And I'm saying that because ultimately, this feeling of what we deserve causes so many people to not understand that you have to use strategies and you have to work and you have to pay attention and take advantage of opportunities in order to get what you want and what you need out of life. This is something that I get from men and women. Some of the worst advice that men get comes from men who are now in a position where their finances, their success allows them to dictate how relationships go. They pass this information on to other men who are not in that situation, and those men feel like they deserve to get the same outcome. Here's an example. You got a guy who's on people that, they might even be on YouTube. It's like, I'm on YouTube. I'm coming from a multi-million-dollar background. I'm going to tell every guy that I talk to, yo, man, you got to have this. You got to have a rotation of women, and those women are going to give you this respect. They're going to show you all kind of love, and if they don't, just kick them off the rotation. But you're talking to a regular dude who doesn't have any money, who doesn't have game, doesn't really have looks, just a regular dude, a regular person. And you're telling this person the key to getting what they want from relationships is acting as though you have a million options when you really don't. The reality is that's not going to work for that dude. That's not going to work for him because he's not in that situation. I see you, Kelly. That's not going to work for that situation, for that person's situation. And this is a problem because you get so many guys. Unfortunately, this happens for men and women. I use the example of guys and what they listen to. And women are kind of similar because you'll have a woman who's in a position where all of her financial dreams have come true. Everything she's trying to accomplish financially has worked out for her. And she may not be able to even get a man. But she's told you, you don't need a man. She's told you that life is great. Just bury yourself into your job and put your job first. Well, that's great if you turn out to be Oprah. That's great if you turn out to be some multi-billionaire type of person. But in real life, that's not going to happen for hardly anyone. And even those people sometimes are miserable, but at least they got enough bread that they can travel to new places and be miserable. But for most people, you're going to work your whole life and you're not really going to have it like that. So people tell you, you deserve to have it all. You deserve to have everything. And here's the advice I'm going to give you based on the fact that you deserve all of these things. Oh man, a man will come to you. If a man doesn't want you for who you are, then you don't need to change anything, girl. Just get you a new one. That sounds good. That sounds cute when you're somebody, you look like Beyonce and you've been around rich people your entire life, or at least since you've been a teenager. You get a million bites at the apple so you can think like that. But for most people, they're not going to get those types of opportunities over and over and over again. If they get one of those opportunities, that'll be it for a lifetime. So when you tell people, oh, you don't have to change anything, nothing matters, and you just go get whatever man you want by just standing there looking pretty, who are you helping? We'll get into this a little bit more later. I'm gonna answer some of these questions that are coming up. Okay, let's see. Kelly, you said date for 10 hours each and no kiss. Shy, hurt, no interest. Are you trying to ask me what's going on with the person? So, okay, I think I got it. It's a little bit of, it's kind of short, but I think I was able to read between the lines. Okay, Kelly Clark says she's on date 4. The dates were 10 hours each and no kisses. She said, did she think the guy is shy, hurt, or not interested? He could be a little bit shy because he has to have some interest. Otherwise, why the hell would he go on 4 dates? That doesn't really make much sense. Unless you were paying for the dates. But if he was paying for the dates, there's no way he could be just totally uninterested. So there's got to be some interest there. Since he didn't kiss, it's probably more of a shy thing, I would think. Probably more of a shy thing. And a lot of times being shy comes from being hurt. Comes from having people reject you. Comes from having people not showing you the love that you feel like you should be getting. Comes from people not reciprocating a lot of what you want. So that could be the case there. But if you're going on 4 dates that were 10 hours, that means y'all had to have something to talk about. I don't see where somebody's going to really spend 10 hours with a person unless there's some interest there. Because, hell, you could do anything other than that. So, definitely. I think it's probably shy. All right, let's get Nature Girl. Okay. My daughter wants to go out with her dad for his birthday. He said he would, but not take the day off. Last year he wouldn't either, but said he would for his cuz. I said no to this year because he won't for us. Come on now. Come on now. That's that man's paycheck and that man's reasoning for not taking off or taking off. If his daughter wants to spend a day with him for his birthday, you just said your daughter wants to do it. That's enough. Your daughter wants to spend a day with him. If she wants to spend a day with him, it's not up to you to get in the way of that. For whatever reasons you have. If she wants to, because what you gotta understand is you're putting yourself in a position where your daughter's gonna resent you ultimately. Because you think kids don't remember stuff, but they do. So something like that, it doesn't matter if you don't want to take the day off or whatever. If there's a way where your daughter can spend a day with her dad and that's what she wants to do, then that's, you need to accommodate. Ultimately, I'm not here to try to give you no type of, I'm telling you, I understand you said she wants to spend a day with y'all or us. I get it. But your daughter wants to spend a day with them. Now you can leave your daughter with them if you don't want to go. That's your right. But I know from talking to you before, your ass want to go. You just want to get more time and you want him to do what he did for his cousin for you. So because that's the case, your daughter wants to go. Let's be real. You want to go too. So no reason to be stubborn about it. Enjoy your time with your daughter. Enjoy your time with the dad. Y'all got to start working through some of this stuff instead of just trying to dig your heels in and saying, no, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that because it's not going exactly the way I want it to. I'm just being real with you. I'm not going to sit here and give you no pitter-pat, all sunshine and rainbows advice that's going to mess up your family so that I can sound cool on the internet. I'm not about to do that. That's her dad. That's somebody you do still care about. Let's keep it a buck. So let's try to make the situation work. Okay, he didn't take off when he took off for his cousin. I don't know why that is, but that's that man's money. That's that man's paycheck. So we can't trip off of that. Let's try to make a situation where we make it better. If you want to let her go by herself, then let her go. You got to remember, that's his kid too. That's y'all kids y'all had together. Whatever beef y'all got now, that doesn't change the fact that y'all had that kid together. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe you might want to change your mind now, whatever, but y'all had that kid together. Y'all both got equal rights to that kid because that kid got equal rights to both of their parents. You see what I'm saying? Your daughter got equal right to have two parents. And that's not just for nature, girl. That's for everybody. Man, woman, whatever the situation is. If you can make it to where your kid has an opportunity to have both of their parents in their life, that's your responsibility to do that. Because the kid, they should be able to have two parents if it's at all possible. You know, we always think about what we deserve and what we want and what we should get. But sometimes we kind of forget that there are other people that become collateral damage. All right, hey, Vivian. Okay, you taught me the difference between demanding and commanding. I just got a major salary raise thanks to your teachings. Oh, that's what's up. Thank you. You taught me so much about life, people, and relationships, human nature, purpose, self-esteem. I am forever grateful. Oh, man, I appreciate that. Look, the reason why I do this is because I want to be able to help you guys make changes in your life for the positive. Now, I understand the fact I'm not trying to tell y'all I'm perfect. Some of these things I learned from my own mistakes. And I try to teach you guys so you ain't got to make them mistakes. What did he say? Hove did that. So hopefully y'all wouldn't have to go through that. And what she was talking about is commanding and demanding. I'm glad you brought that up, Vivian, because that goes into what I was talking about when I said you deserve. When you command something, it means I'm bringing my presence and I'm bringing what I do so that these things come to me. So you don't go in and demand a raise, you command a raise. My work is good enough. What I bring to the table is good enough. You guys don't want me to leave. So you're giving me the things that I need and the things that I want because you want to keep me around. When you try to demand, most of the time what you're basically saying is, I really don't bring enough to the table for you to want to do these things. So I'm just going to stomp my feet and kick them and get all mad. And then hopefully you'll give me what I need and what I want. But that's not going to happen in most cases. I'm just being real with y'all. Most of the time, that's not how it goes. Most of the time when you get caught into demanding, you end up begging because you want what they have to offer, but you can't get what they have to offer, and you can't get it on the open market. So once you've demanded and you stomped your feet and you've yelled and you argued for however long you do so, the thing that you're often left with is the fact that they don't need you, they don't want you, and when you try to walk away, you realize you can't get what you want on the open market. Now you're coming back still asking for the same thing. This is why we work on commanding. This goes into what I was talking about, deserving. It doesn't matter what you deserve. We could argue that everybody deserves to be good, born into a good family. I think so. So everybody deserves to have a good upbringing. I think so. And because they do deserve that, everybody should basically be in a situation where they can be successful. But that's not how it is, right? We don't all start in the same place. That's not how it is. So that means that you have to work hard. You have to take advantage of opportunities as they come to you. These are things that you have to do. And you have to learn strategies to get what you want. If you don't do that, you will get left out in the cold. It's sad. It sucks. I don't want to see it happen to you, but it is what it is. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you. That's good stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna hit a story here in a minute. I'm going between a couple stories that I got, and I might go ahead and I hit one in a minute for y'all. Okay, but I do want to go into some of these other things that I've been talking about with relationships. Also, make sure you guys go to ChazzEllis.com. Check out Mastering Attraction and the Business of Relationships. Those are two really good videos that I have. They're masterclasses that I have that are about just how to get some of the things that you want in the relationship realm. How to get some of the things that you want when it comes to relationships. How to get some of the things that you want when it comes to dating. How to get some of the things you want in the business world also. Because this is a big thing. And I'm gonna get into this story time real quick. Okay, so this story is about advice, and I'm actually working on a book right now. This is gonna be you guys will be the first ones to hear this story that I actually wrote down. So I was about 12 years old. What's up, Jessica? I was about 12 years old, right? And I was playing on a basketball team. And I can't remember the name I used in the book. Because I try not to use people's real names. Because some people who actually know me watch these videos. So, you feel what I'm saying? I try my best not to use people's real names. I'm going to call this dude Lenny for the purposes of this story. So, I was playing ball with this dude named Lenny. All right. This dude was cold. I'm saying cold. He was cold at basketball. He was cold at football. He actually ended up playing Major League Baseball. This dude, that's why I really can't say the dude's name. He was cold. I mean, he could play ball so good. Like, he was tall, but he could handle the ball really well. I remember he didn't wear shorts because his religion was against wearing shorts. So he would actually wear pants. I can't make this up. He'd wear pants, right? So anyway, I'm playing with him. And, I was pretty good on the team, but I was not as good as Lenny. This dude, he was cold. He was ridiculous. You know what I mean? He's actually one of the best ball players I ever played with. He could have played pro basketball. There's more money in Major League Baseball, though. I didn't know that back then, but there is. So anyway, the thing about Lenny was he was really, really good, but he was just like kind of a no-nonsense type of dude. Like, he wasn't the type of dude that really took coaching that well. So we had this other kid. We're going to call him Mark for the purposes of this story. Mark was cool. He was a silly kid. He was funny. He had us laughing all practice long. You know, that type of person that you might work with or you might play ball with or something like that, that just be having everybody laughing. He was dope. I love being around him. So we would all just sit there and cut up. Me, Mark, and Lenny. We would just cut up, just laughing and everything in practice. And we would play real hard too and have a good time. We had a good team. So Lenny used to do this thing where whenever we would run suicides, when you run back and forth and all that. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with basketball. But anyway, we'd be running these sprints. And whenever we would do it, Lenny would generally fake an injury or something like that and just, not really do it. He would either run real slow or he would go to the sideline for a minute. He would do this every single practice pretty much if we ended up having a sprint. So one time, Lenny was like, if they make us sprint, I ain't doing it. I was like, damn, Lenny. What you mean you ain't gonna do it? I'm thinking, he's gonna, try to do the same stuff he usually does. So he tells Mark, hey man, you ain't gotta run. If they tell us to do the running, just don't do it. So Mark was like, okay. So anyway, of course we had to do sprints at the end of practice. Whenever people get in trouble, you gotta do these sprints or whatever. So we're doing the sprints. Lenny does not fake an injury. Lenny doesn't do anything. He just walks off the court. Straight up walks off the court like nothing happened, like F y'all and all of that. The coach sees Lenny walking off the court. Then Mark goes after him and walks off the court with him. The coach take off running after both of them. He's like, the fact that y'all would just walk off on your teammates like that and you would just disrespect this coaching staff, don't come back here. Y'all off the team. Get the hell out of here. Coach was pissed. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, I started running faster. I'm like, let me get at the head because I be hanging out with these dudes. I don't want to be associated with them like that right now. So I'm taking off. Okay, and this happened on a Friday. Yeah, this happened on a Friday after practice. So I come back on Monday. Mark ain't there. Lenny ain't there. I'm like, damn. We about to get drug. We don't have Lenny anymore. So now I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I have upgraded as far as who I am on the team now, but I know we're not going to win. Because a team with me as the best player on it is not a championship team. I'm being real with myself. So I'm sitting there. I'm sad to be real with you. So we shooting and practice and all that kind of stuff. Everybody playing, we end up scrimmaging and stuff like that, and it's all good. Toward the end of practice, guess who come in? Lenny. Lenny apologizes to the team for abandoning us in our time of need. And he says, I wasn't being a good teammate. I wasn't being a good brother. I'm sorry for this. And I want to be back on the team. Will you guys take me back? Of course, everybody was like, yo, Lenny, we love you, man. Come on, hey, stop showing out. Anyway, we did really, really well. We didn't win the championship. We came like second place. But we did really well. We had a good season. I didn't see Mark for the rest of that year. I saw Mark a little while later and found out that he tried to come back to the team, but they wouldn't let him. They didn't want him back on the team anymore. This is what I'm talking about when I say taking advice and listening to mugs. You got to make sure that they gave you advice that actually works for you. See, Lenny can fake injuries. Lenny can stop running. Lenny can walk off the court, and they're going to let him come back to the team because of how good he is. Mark was not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. So the team was looking at it like, you're the guy for the jokes and the fun and the spirit and the glue, and we like you for that, but you're not somebody that we just can't win without. So we make an example out of you by kicking you off the team. So that way any other goofball that operates at your level will know that they can't act this way. That they can't just tell us they're not going to run. And they know now that we kicked Lenny off for, even though it was just a day, they know that if we would do that to Lenny for a day, oh, you gone just like Mark. Because don't nobody think they on his level. So I'm just saying, like, when you take advice from people, that's something you got to think about. Something you got to keep in mind. Is this advice for me? Does it work for my particular situation and for my life? Or is this something that they may be using for their life? You know, just something to think about. I already knew that I was not going to be walking off the court. Not just because they kicked me off the team, but if my pops would have found out I did something like that, man, I wouldn't be able to go home. My dad would have been like, you did what? You walked off the, what? You walked off of where? Who told you you could do that? I tell you when you can quit. Oh, okay, sorry. You know, so the advice would definitely not work for me. So anyway, y'all make sure y'all kick in. Keep on hitting that super chat. Also hit the stickers. I want y'all to thank Vivian, really, because she put us over for that story time. So much love to you. All right, if y'all got any more questions, make sure y'all hit that super chat. He said, poor Mark. Yeah, he did find out Lenny came. Mark found out Lenny came back. Apparently he didn't know. Until I told him. Apparently he didn't know. I was like, yeah, you know, Lenny came back. He was like, they let Lenny come back. He was hurt. I could see it in his eyes. You know how you can see it where somebody tried to hold back the hurt and the tears? It was sad, man. I was happy it didn't happen to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's the life you chose. So, I wanted to go into some other things. There's some stuff that I didn't really hit on the last one. I want to go back and talk about. We talked about pretty privilege a little bit, but I've been getting a little bit more from this. People have been talking to me about the concept of pretty privilege. For some of you who don't know, this concept of, hey, when you're attractive, you got all these different things that kind of come your way and all these opportunities and things that come for being attractive, which is great. You know, but what people don't realize, there's a certain amount of privilege that comes with anything that you have. So if you got money, obviously you're going to get some opportunities because you have money. If you were born in a nice area, you're going to get opportunities because you were born in a nice area. If you're athletic, obviously, just like I was talking about with my homeboy Lenny, you're going to get opportunities from that too. There's going to be opportunity to come from all kinds of things. But there's also backlash that comes. there's also a backlash that comes. And a lot of times, the more you have in talent, the lazier you are, and the less willing you are to make changes and adjustments because things have always been going your way. I said this to somebody and I made a video about it, but I've worked with a couple people who have this issue. A lot of people who I do consultations for and that I've worked with over the years are actually really attractive people. You would think that most people who have relationship problems or, say, oh, I can't get a man or I can't get a woman, most of the time their situation would be that they're unattractive. But you would be surprised how often that's not the case at all. A lot of people who are attractive are just not willing to do anything to make changes to get what they want out of relationships. A lot of times when a person is attractive, first of all, you got people who don't even really have any concept of being attractive, because some people used to be unattractive when they were young or something like that, and now they were ugly to somebody that they were dating, and now they think they're ugly to the world. It's one of those type of things too. But a lot of times what you run into is people who are attractive it's just like being talented in a sport. A lot of times talented people just don't really understand that there's a game within the game. Smart people just often don't understand that there's a game within the game. Have you ever noticed that there are people who are really smart or really good at their job but just don't get office politics? Like, they just don't get it. They don't get the concept of, hey, speak to people before they get a chance to speak to you. When you see people in the hallway, hey, how are you? Hey, what's up? What are you guys doing this weekend? Hey, what did you do? Oh, okay. Smile. That affects your promotion. That affects your raise. That affects whether people want to work in groups with you. That affects whether or not people look at your work as being well done or not well done. When you don't smile at people, when you don't say hi to them in the hallway, they fill in the blanks. You got to remember, they come to work with a lot of baggage too. And a lot of times they feel like people don't like them. A lot of times they feel like they don't have any friends at work. So when you don't give them a hi, a how you doing, when you don't connect with people, a lot of times they start feeling like you're stuck up. They feel like you don't want to talk to them. They feel like you don't want to engage with them. And because of that, you often find yourself left behind. Like Kirk Cameron in the movies, Left Behind. And that's kind of, you may find yourself on the outside looking in, even though you have all the talent in the world, all the beauty in the world, all of the athleticism in the world, all of the intelligence in the world. You may have all of that. But when people don't feel like you're connecting, when people don't feel like you're really putting yourself out there, then a lot of times they just leave you behind. This is the game of relationships. This is the game of life. A lot of people think, well, I'm talented, so I deserve to get the best position. Who said you deserve to be talented? Who said you deserve that? So your talent may be to be the best salesperson in whatever place you're working at. But that's a talent that you have. That's great. Wonderful. But that doesn't mean that somebody else over here working to build relationships doesn't deserve the same stuff you get just because they don't have the same talent. So that's something you got to think about. What am I doing with my abilities? What am I doing to make my abilities marketable? If I'm attractive and I'm trying to find somebody and I'm trying to build this great life with somebody, what exactly am I doing to make that happen other than whatever I was born with? What am I doing to improve my game so that I can make some of this stuff happen? You're not going to get anything just because you woke up in the morning and you happen to be alive. Wasn't being alive good enough? You got to work for everything else. All right, we at the 39-minute mark. So if y'all want me to keep going, I need y'all to keep hitting these super chats. If y'all want to keep this going, show some love to the super chat. Let's not just put it all on one or two people. Everybody show some love to the super chat. Everybody hit the stickers. You know, like I said, it takes a lot for me to do this too. Y'all don't do your job for free. You know, I can't come to your job. And if you do, if y'all work at a restaurant or something like that, or if y'all work at a hospital or any of those type of things, I'm going to need that free medical care about you. I'm going to need free food at your restaurant for life. If you do PR work, you're going to do that for your boy for free. Handle that for me. See, I wouldn't ask you to, so let's make sure we always support the chats. That keeps it going. It keeps me be able to give y'all good information. Because you got to remember, for me, like the views on YouTube, the way it kind of works is the type of advice I give is pretty even-handed. So they're not gonna just bump me all through the roof. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they're doing right now. So for me to be successful on here, I need the small group of people who really love your boy to support. That's what I need to keep on doing what I do. Much love, LA Peaches. Much love. I said for life. Tish, if you got a restaurant or something like that, for life. I need meals for life. Or at least as long as I can still eat. Because, you know, at some point I might be on tapioca or something like that, or being tube fed or something like that. But you get what I'm saying? Matter of fact, nah. If I'm being tube fed and you got a restaurant and you want free stuff from your boy, then I'm going to need you to grind your food up for me and put it in my tube. That's what I'm going to need. Oh man, this is something y'all been asking me about. I'm sorry, y'all been asking me about this for 3 streams straight, and I forgot to say it every single time. Okay, I'm gonna say this first. Hit the super chat, hit the like button. I see a lot of people have not hit the like button. Hit the like button. As soon as you get on, it takes nothing for you to hit the like button. All right, also, make sure you go to the ChazzEllis.com and you get Mastering Attraction and which other one did I have for y'all? The Business of Relationships. Get those master classes. Those are really good for you guys. Do men find singer Normani attractive or pretty? Jessica, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know. Hold on, give me a second. I'm sure somebody does, is the short answer. But I don't want to sit here and comment on somebody I don't even know who that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know who the hell that is. Give me about 2 seconds. Okay, I think this is her right here that I'm looking at. I don't see why nobody would. Is there something about her that's weird or something going on? Yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see why they wouldn't, unless you know something I don't. Is this one of them trapdoor questions? Cause I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't see why they wouldn't, unless there's something you know about it that I don't. So I don't know if this is one of those trapdoor questions. You're like, she's a dude, gotcha. You know, I don't know. So. What is the Business of Relationships about? It's basically what I talk to you about. Most of these things that I talk to you about as far as relationships, building rapport with people, connecting with people. If you notice, a lot of times I'm going to talk about sports. I'm going to talk about business when I talk to you guys about relationships. The reason why I do that is because business and sports are pretty much, it is or it isn't. It's solid results. Hey, this made money. This didn't make money. Hey, this business is growing. This business isn't growing. So what the business of relationships is about is really just tying together a lot of the things I talked to you about in terms of relationships and showing you how it works in business and also showing you how business strategies work in your relationships, because you have to view them kind of in the same way. You have to view a relationship like you would a company or a business adventure, basically saying, what do you get from this and what do you give? You know, what is success? A lot of times when we look at relationships, we don't actually have a goal. We don't actually do say what success is in our relationship. I see some of y'all finally catching the stream. So Jessica, you say you feel like only women big her up and men are silent on her. I don't even know who the person is. I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's the type of music you make. Sometimes the type of music you make that everybody ain't really listening to. I don't know what you're getting at, or if you have like a reason why you feel like men aren't bigging her up or something like that. But the reality is, a lot of times the type of music you make, a lot of times it's just how out there you are with your personality and things of that nature. People are going to get the attention that they look for most of the time. Thank you, Vanessa. Did you have a question, or are you just showing love with the sticker? I appreciate that. Either way. Thank you, Sable. I like this thing that's dancing right here. She said, you're amazing. And the emoji is dancing, which is dope to me because I like stuff like that. That's like them stickers. You remember when y'all was in school and people would get stickers for being quiet in class and stuff like that? Like, oh, you were quiet all day, so here, you get a sticker. You were good. I never got them. I was never quiet in class. I never got stickers. They showed me no love. Not even a little bit. I think I might have got one sticker my entire kindergarten experience. And that might have been because I was asleep. I did my best, but I guess my best wasn't good enough. So, I want y'all to go, y'all hit me with a thumbs up emoji or a laughing emoji. Hit me with the thumbs up emoji if y'all want me to talk about Nick Cannon, and hit me with a laughing emoji if y'all want me to talk about a movie. So y'all can have y'all just interact with your boy a little bit. So a thumbs up if y'all want me to talk about Nick Cannon, and a laughing emoji if y'all want me to talk about a movie. Keep the lights going. Keep the lights coming. I'm going to try to count them real quick. So it's going to be kind of whoever does them first, you know, that I'm going to count theirs first. But okay, I see you, Sable, where you asked something down here. Dear Chaz, I'm in a relationship. Hold on. Dear Chaz, I'm in a relationship with a guy who is ashamed of me because I gained weight due to congestive heart failure. Wow, that's rough. Should I stay or go? Now, the politically correct answer would be to say that you should go. If he doesn't like you the way you are, then you should just leave him, girl, and all that. That's the politically correct answer. I'm going to try to give you an answer that actually works around the situation that you're dealing with. It's messed up that the dude is ashamed of you because you gained weight. That's messed up. But we are human beings and we feel how we feel. I think this is something that you need to address with the person, but you also need to address weight loss. Because obviously congestive heart failure is no joke. And I'm sure that your doctor has probably talked to you about weight loss. I'm sure your doctor has probably talked to you about a plan for that. And that's something that you need to do for yourself, regardless of this person. That's something you definitely need to talk to your doctor about, which I'm sure he probably has. And it's something you need to do for yourself. As far as the guy is concerned, of course, if somebody's being ashamed of you, that's going to hurt your feelings a little bit. But I'm just going to be 100% real and say these things do happen. We undergo different changes in our lives, and sometimes, that does affect our relationships. Just like if somebody's out of a job, you might be a little bit ashamed to be with somebody who doesn't have a job. Let's be real. And I've talked to guys about this. Like, oh man, my girl acting ashamed of me around her friends and family because I lost my job. Yeah, because you unemployed, bro. You think she wanted to be with a dude that was unemployed? I mean, we could go politically correct and say, oh, she should never be ashamed no matter what. But look, let's be real. If you're watching your kid play a basketball game and he keep airballing and kicking the ball out of bounds and traveling and falling down, you're going to be a little bit ashamed. Okay, go ahead and be fake. But in real life, you're going to be a little bit ashamed. So let's be real about that. So the first thing to tackle is the weight situation for yourself. Now, whether you stay with this person or you leave this person or whatever, the first thing to tackle is that. And you can have a conversation with this person about what they're feeling and just let them get it off their chest. Be real with you about it. And then y'all can work with it from there. But, just to sit here and go, oh, well, I'm going to leave because he seems like he's ashamed of me, or should I leave? I get it, but are you going to go out and find somebody else in your current situation? Is it going to be that easy? Or is this something that you're going to have to lose that weight regardless? Because if that's the case, and that would fix a lot of issues that you're having in a relationship, then go ahead and lose that weight. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with you. Look, some of y'all ask me questions and you might want more touchy-feely answers than what I'm able to give. I know that there are politically correct answers that I probably should give you, but I want to actually give you answers that'll help your life, that you can use today, that are realistic to your situation. And a lot of times, leaving somebody while you're struggling with health problems, while your weight is up and all of that, if they're not treating you bad in general, but they're just having trouble adjusting to a weight gain or some type of situation that may be temporary, that I don't feel like that's good advice. I don't feel like that's good advice. And I can't tell you something in good conscience that isn't going to help you just because it sounds cool. And just because people would cheer me for it. But, I do want to say this. Make sure you just put a lot of energy into taking care of your health. Take care of your health. You only get the one body. You only get this one life. This is not a dress rehearsal. You get the one. Take care of this mug. You feel what I'm saying? Take care of your life. Take care of your body. And this is not just for Saber, because she asked a really good question. I want to say I appreciate you for putting this information out here, because I want to talk about this for people in general. A lot of times you have relationships that go through their ups and downs and rocky periods because of things that are temporary. That could be temporary if you want them to be. This is money, health, physical appearance, things of that nature. These things could be temporary. But a lot of times, because we're struggling with these type of things, and because we're struggling with people and struggling with issues in our relationships and stuff like that, you know, we just want to be like, forget it and scrap the whole relationship. And a lot of times that's why you get left alone 20, 30 years from now. Because there's certain things that you didn't even think about doing, or things that you didn't want to change in a moment, or things you got upset about and were like, oh, they called me out on this. You know, you got to be real with it. A lot of people are left by themselves 20, 30 years from now because they didn't want to make some solutions. They didn't want to make some serious changes in their life and make their situation better. Because I'm going to be real. If you gain a whole bunch of weight and the person that you with is like, yo, I'm not really attracted to you right now because you gained a whole bunch of weight. If you and that person break up because they said that or because they felt that way, all you're going to do is either A, lose the weight and get with somebody else who would have felt the same way, or you're going to keep the weight and probably not be able to get anybody of that same caliber. I'm just being real. You know, let's be real. And I say the same thing to a dude that gained a bunch of weight. I say the same thing to a dude that lost his job or doesn't have any money. I say the same thing no matter what your situation is. Hey, if you have gone down somewhere, to some degree in the relationship, you're going to have to pull yourself back up in order to get a new relationship of the same caliber. Let's be real. Okay, let's see what y'all said y'all wanted. Okay, we got one for the Nick. One for the movie. Somebody said movie and Nick Cannon. Okay, so I'm going to do both because I think it's pretty close. All right, I talked to y'all about this Nick Cannon thing a little while ago, right? Where basically Nick Cannon out here in these streets, and he has, I think he's up to 7 baby mamas now, or 7 babies and like 5 baby mamas or something, whatever. Yeah, and a lot of people are like, man, what is Nick doing? And all this kind of stuff. And I wanted to address something that I saw earlier today because I talked about that on another live stream. And somebody was like, well, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Those kids are not going to be well adjusted because they don't get to have their dad around all the time. And they're from different mothers and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? It's some people whose dads are fighting in wars and stuff like that right now. That doesn't mean that person's not going to turn out to be well adjusted. And some people don't even have a dad. That doesn't mean that person's not going to turn out to be well adjusted, or that they're not going to be in a situation where they can be a good kid because their dad's not around. I want to say, and I don't want to say the race of people because, or the group. I don't want to say the racial group because I don't like to turn stuff into like a racial thing. But there's a group of people that I grew up around that are not from America. And a lot of the people in their culture, have, and these particular people, most of them had fathers who were married to multiple women. They had multiple wives. All of these kids, we're talking all of them, grew up to be more successful in every measurable way than any of the other people I know. If I was to tell you what racial group it was, you could look it up and statistics would even back up what I'm saying. But they grew up to be more successful in every, I'm not even just saying like, hey, they became doctors, because they did. But I'm not saying, that, like, oh, you're financially more successful. I'm saying they grew up to have great families. They grew up to be financially extremely successful. They grew up to have great jobs and doing all the things that a person is supposed to do in life. And they were not affected by the fact that a lot of them, some of them, their mothers didn't even live in the same country. Some of them lived in other countries while their dad lived somewhere. I mean, they went through a whole lot of different stuff. But they had a good family structure. They were taught very well. They understood, what they were trying to accomplish. And that's their family. So for somebody to sit here and say, oh, this is how you're going to turn out because you come from this particular type of family, that's ridiculous because you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know how somebody's going to turn out. And you can't tell somebody what type of family they should create. If Nick Cannon is like, this is the vision for a family that I have, it's not like people who come from two-parent homes, which I did. I'm not perfect. It ain't like my life just turned out like I never made any mistakes. I never did anything wrong. It never did anything bad or anything like that. It doesn't matter what type of family you're coming from or what type of situation you have. The reality is, it's the structure and how it's put together and what you take from it as a person. Because some people get abused by their parents and they still don't turn out messed up. They work through it. They become great parents themselves. They have great relationships. They have great careers. Some of it is on you to come up. All right. Now, if your parents are providing you good schooling and opportunities and you can't make anything out of that, you got to take some responsibility. So if Nick Cannon's kids go to private school and all that, and they can't become successful, they can't blame Nick. I'm just being real. You can't blame Nick for that. It ain't his fault. At some point, you got to take responsibility to come on up. Come on up. Here's a movie I wanted to talk about also, because y'all kind of had both. I want to talk about this movie called Hitch. Y'all give me the thumbs up if y'all remember the movie Hitch with Will Smith. That was a really popular movie at one point in time. So, I was watching the movie Hitch a little while ago. And basically, for those of you who never watched it, Hitch is about Will Smith is like this dating guru who helps guys get with girls. Okay, there go a thumbs up. Who helps guys get with girls who are like what could be considered way out of their league. He kind of shows them like little game and stuff like that. There you go. He shows them little game and stuff like that to be able to get with women who would generally be considered out of their league. Either physically more attractive than what they normally would get or, just whatever. So, in the movie, spoiler alert, I should say, in the movie, okay, a lot of y'all saw this. So, this is a spoiler alert for those of you who haven't saw the movie. It came out a long time ago. I don't know if you're going to watch it. But, so, in the movie, he gets with this guy. He's working with him. And the dude is in love with a star. The guy's name is Albert. He's in love with this girl named Allegra Cole, who's like a famous actress or whatever. So he's trying to get with the girl, and Hitch puts him up on game. Hitch shows him all this different type of stuff that he can do to get with the girl, right? And basically, it works. The game that Hitch is showing him works, and he gets the girl. So, of course, because Hollywood is Hollywood, at the end of the movie, what ends up happening is Hitch is found out that, people find out about Hitch's business because he's keeping it secret, find out that he's been tricking women into liking these guys or whatever. And, the girl that Albert is with finds out that he hired a professional to get her to like him. She's pissed off and everything, yada, yada, yada. So then towards the end of the movie, basically, she brings up all these things that she likes about Albert Brennerman. That's the guy's name. All the things she likes about him. And Hitch is like, well, I didn't tell him to do any of those things. So she's like, well, what did you do for him? And then Hitch is like, absolutely nothing. So basically, it's like all the game that Hitch is teaching these people doesn't work. It's like they teach you all these different type of game to get with women, all this different type of game that you could use to get a woman to give you her attention and break yourself out of the crowd. And then at the end of the movie, in true Hollywood fashion, they say, no, you don't need any of that. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Like that works in any other walk of life. Yeah, be yourself is cute, it's cool and everything, but you're going to always need a spark. And you're going to always need a strategy for being yourself and being yourself in the most effective way. And this is what I don't like about Hollywood. This is what I don't like about the entertainment industry. Because what the entertainment industry is a bunch of dudes who never got chicks in high school, college, or anything else, who wrote a lot of movies that were the fantasy of what they wish would have happened when they were in high school, college, and all of that. That's what it is. It's people who basically say, this is the fantasy of what I wish would have happened, so this is how you get somebody. This is how it works. That's why in all the movies you got like the jock and he's really cool and everything, and then he gets with the nerdy chick with the ponytail, the glasses, and the paint all over her. She's always some type of artist or something like that. This is what happens in all of these movies. It's not to say that never can happen in real life, but it's just saying she's going to have to do something to separate herself from everybody else. They always got the girl who's dating the really mean jock and he's always bullying people. And then all of a sudden she gets with this nerdy guy who weighs 120 pounds, soaking wet and wearing boots. And she leaves the jock for this guy. And this is what they show you in Hollywood. So people think they deserve this. They think this is the way things really go in real life. Like all you do is stand around and people who were dating really beautiful people who had the spotlight on them and had status break up with those people to go get with somebody who seems really, really regular. That ain't how life really works. That's how the person who wrote the movie wanted life to work. And now since they write the movie, they can make it work that way. But in reality, if you want to punch above your weight class, if you want to get people who probably wouldn't necessarily be in your realm in most cases, then you got to learn certain game. If you want the job promotion, you don't just stand around and be a nice guy. So Kind of Wonderful. I remember that. Yeah, that is definitely like that. That movie is definitely like that. And don't get me wrong, I like these movies because at heart, I'm actually a hopeless romantic. That's why I can tell you about all the movies because I love them myself. They're entertaining, but they are also damaging. They're damaging because when you see something happen so much on television, you start thinking that it happened in real life. When you see some narrative play out over and over again, it's kind of like, let me use an example that most people can probably, it's like when you see stereotypes on television and you just constantly see like this group of people committing all the crimes and this group of people good at math and this group, you know what I mean? When you start seeing these stereotypes play out on television all the time, you start actually feeling like this is happening in real life. And it happens all the time in real life. And that's not kind of how it works in real life. You know what I'm saying? You're not really seeing it in real life. Okay, what's up, Alfred? You said Kay Samuel's harsh, balanced advice don't work on us men. Was that just a comment? Um, I've actually seen him do it to men also. I've actually seen him do that same type of advice for men too. I think the reality of harsh advice is it only works on a small group of people. It only works for a small group of people anyway. There's a certain thing. There's a certain level of harshness that you can deliver, but you also have to deliver a solution. I personally don't feel like Kevin Samuels is too harsh. I don't feel that way. But what I do feel, what I see, is oftentimes Kevin Samuels doesn't give a solution for the person who's calling in, because the solution is not for them. They are being used as a cautionary tale for somebody who is not yet in their situation. And I think that's where the disconnect is for most people who watch Kevin Samuels videos. If you watch a Kevin Samuels video, and I've watched plenty of them, not just sound bites. I wouldn't even speak on somebody if all I watched was sound bites. If you watch a video from Kevin Samuels in its totality, what you will see is Kevin Samuels telling this person basically where their life has already ended up and what situation they're already in. Now, because of that, most people are offended and most people are angry. So when Kevin Samuels says, "What type of man do you want?" and she says, "I want somebody who can support me. I want somebody who can do this. I want somebody who can do that." Well, then he comes up with a dollar amount for how much that's probably going to cost. Most of the time, the dollar amount is a little on the high side because people raise families for less than that. But regardless, a lot of people want to live really high level lifestyles and they expect somebody else to help them do it. So what Kevin Samuels will often do is he will say, "Here's the lifestyle you say you want. You want a man that makes, we'll say, $400,000 a year. Now, this is a very small group of the population. What do you bring to the table?" The woman will usually give different things that she feels like she brings to the table. And he will say, which generally is true. "Hey, the guy doesn't care about that. What do you look like? What do you rate yourself? How much do you weigh?" And then that's when the situation generally deteriorates for them. And they become sad and frustrated. And he'll say, "Well, you're not going to get that. That's a wrap. It's not going to happen." Now people who watch the channel or watch the video become angry because they're like, "Okay, I'm in her shoes basically, so where's the hope for me?" Because, he's generally not giving that person a real solution to their problem. He's saying, "Look, you just can't get what you want. Keep it moving." But the solution is given for somebody else. It's really like, here's your age group, here's your situation. This is a cautionary tale for a younger person. And that's what you volunteered to be by getting on this on the video. That's what you volunteered to be. For myself, I may give advice or information in a way that people consider harsh also. Because, it's not always even about how you deliver it. It's about the message. A lot of times the message in and of itself is hurtful. But I give solutions for the person who's in that current situation. And that's probably the biggest difference there. It's not necessarily better or worse, really. It depends on where you are. If you're watching a Kevin Samuels video and you're 17, 18, 19 years old and you're thinking about making certain decisions that are going to make it hard for you going forward, then yeah, you probably should watch that. You probably should watch that because you could avoid some of the pitfalls. But if you're watching a Kevin Samuels video and you got 2 kids by 2 different baby daddies or 1 baby daddy, you've been divorced, you're in your 30s, well, you're just going to leave the situation depressed. how else are you gonna feel? Because he's basically saying, hey, you already messed up. And I'm saying I acknowledge the fact that maybe you're gonna have a little bit more of an uphill battle, but here's some of the strategies that you can use to negate that situation. Now then you have other people like Derek Jackson. We're gonna just use the people's names. It's not me. I'm not gonna down or bash anybody. You have somebody like Derek Jackson who will basically tell you that there's nothing there. Like, you made these decisions. This is your life currently, and any man who's not willing to accept those decisions or willing to want to be a part of those decisions is basically a fuck boy or whatever the case may be. So that's the big difference. So one of them leaves you feeling really bad if you're in a situation where you made certain decisions. The other one leaves you in a situation where you feel really good, but you're probably not realistic, okay, about your decisions. And a lot of other people kind of come in between and all of that. So that's kind of what that is really when you look at those different people. As to my mind, as I see it. Thank you, Taj. So I think a lot of people end up getting upset with Kevin Samuels more than anybody because I don't think that they really get what he's trying to do. And it's really harsh. Hell, I can see why, I can see why you couldn't listen past the words that he says, like, because some of the stuff is also entertainment. You got to remember, when you call into a internet show, there's going to be some entertainment value there. So some of the stuff is going to be funny, like, oh, you weigh more than Emmitt Smith. You could run out of the power I. Those type of things, that's part of the entertainment value of the show. And, it's like when you got a coach or something like that and they yell at you and they're like, what are you doing? You playing like you walking in mud. What the hell's wrong with you? These type of things, like, these are the theatrics that go with something like that. But it doesn't mean that you have to just take every single word personally. And I understand why that's hard not to do, but if you want to get something out of the advice, you can't take all the words personally. So I think that's kind of where Kevin Samuels is. As far as, and people have asked me about Derek Jackson plenty of times. I think the biggest thing about Derek Jackson, I know now people have different feelings about him and all that, but I think the biggest thing with Derek Jackson was, I think Derek Jackson is pretty much like a lot of people. Look, if you've always had good relationships with women and most of the time the relationship was bad, it was some shit you were doing, then you're not going to have any real bitterness towards women at all. So the way you see it is more like, yo, these dudes, like, because when Derek Jackson was saying, yo, these dudes are fuckboys, basically, and here's all the stuff these dudes are doing, I don't think people should got so mad at him because I think he was talking about himself. But I just don't, he was saying, hey, I understand that guys do certain things because that's his perspective. And I think it was a little unfair. It was a little unfair for people to respond the way they did about his infidelity and all of that. Because when he was talking about guys being fuckboys, when he was talking about guys cheating, when he was talking about guys using women and all of that, what's to make you think that he couldn't be talking about himself at all? He's speaking from experience. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times we put people up on pedestals just to watch them crumble back down to earth. Any human being that's giving you information or advice got to be coming from somewhere. And a lot of times it's going to be negative experiences they had in their own life, positive experiences that they had in their own life, but they're not going to be the person that you probably expect for them to be. You look at somebody like Derek Jackson, he's like, he for us, he uplifting us, girl. So therefore, he got to be perfect or even good. You know what I mean? That man out here just living his life. You know, some people was like, yo, I never thought he was faithful. I always thought he was talking about himself. A lot of times that's what it is. People would generally judge people on their own measuring stick. So when a person is sitting there saying like that they feel a man has these negative intentions in a lot of cases, a lot of times that's coming from where they're coming from in their own personal experiences. So, you know, that's not necessarily him being fake. I didn't see it as him being fake. I saw it as this is the person, you know. That's who he is, you know, just being himself and seeing the world the way he sees it. Did I always agree with him? No. But I don't always agree with anybody. I don't always agree with Kevin Samuels either. I don't know. I got my own opinions about life, and I'm sure people watch stuff that I say and they don't agree with me. So that's cool. That's why you got a lot of different things coming out where people need to be able to talk. This is why I don't like cancel culture. This is my problem with cancel culture. Is when you hear something that you don't like, instead of taking it in and saying, okay, this is their opinion based on their experiences, we say, well, because I don't like this particular thing and because I don't like this particular opinion, let's dead it. Let's kill it. Let's make it to where it just doesn't exist anymore. So I can only hear people who agree with me. And I think that's a negative. You know, I think that's a negative thing there, where we're losing discourse and we're losing people's opportunities to say stuff without the ad hominem attacks, without everything being personal and negative towards or destructive towards the individual. Like, oh, you said this, so let's destroy this person and this person's livelihood and let's take them out of here so nobody talks anymore. But it doesn't really work. I think, you know, that's why, in a lot of ways, I think that's how things get worse. Because you take away a voice and then it bubbles under the surface. And there's so many people sitting there whispering and thinking these things, but they never say it out loud. This is the problem with anti-shaming. You know, some things that you do, people feel some type of way about. You know, people feel some type of way about, and people have a certain feeling about what you're doing. And just because they're not in a position to say anything anymore because you shut them up, that doesn't mean that they don't feel some type of way. And it doesn't mean that they're not going to treat you a certain type of way just because they can't say it out loud anymore. So I think that, you know, that's a problem I have with shaming, with the cancel culture. You know, I'm a proponent of both Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey also, and Kevin Samuels and everybody in between getting an opportunity to say what they want to say. What I don't like is this, though. Now, I do want to say this. This is what I don't like. I don't like this about social media. I don't like this about YouTube. What I don't like is when something is polarizing and negative to one group of people in one direction or another, it's often promoted on social media. And when something is more of a baseline where it's like, hey, I'm basically trying to give a fair analysis of a situation, that's not promoted. I don't like that beef is promoted. I don't like that rapper beef is promoted. I don't like that. People going back and forth with each other on the internet is promoted. You know, I don't like the fact that negativity seems to get way more promotion. That's the only thing I would say that I don't like. Because I understand that, you know, when people see something that's negative, obviously they share it more often. They talk about it more often. I get that. But I don't like the artificial nature that YouTube especially does to make it to where, hey, this particular person, this thing that they're saying, this climbs the charts. You know, a lot of stuff they won't even show to your viewers unless it's got somebody's name in it, or unless that's why do you think you see so many people talk about the same subject? because there will be certain topics, and a lot of those topics will be rooted in some sort of negativity. And if you don't comment on the topic or you don't talk about it, whatever you talked about that day just gets buried. Whatever you talked about, nobody even gets a chance to decide whether or not they want to see it. And I think, that's the engineering aspect of what this platform and a lot of other platforms do. And that's the thing I don't like. I like the fact that people at least have the choice to come together if they want to. I like that men and women at least have the choice to come together if they want to. They don't have to sit there and watch something that's constantly all men are bad, all women are good, and everything they do is right. All women are bad, all men are good, and everything they do is right. And that's pretty much all you get is one or the other. And that's something I do have an issue with. I do take issue with that. Because hey, people should have an opportunity to come together if they want to. So that's my little rant for today about that. About that. I want us to live in a world where people are more into positivity, more into life, more into love. Can't we all just get along? That's what I want to see happen. Nature Girl was talking about a video that I have on about Noelle Randall, where she talks about financial freedom and her financial journey. If y'all haven't watched that video, for some of y'all that are in here, y'all should watch that. And also check out Noelle Randall's channel too, because she really gives a lot of good information. If you not even just if you want to be involved in real estate, but just business in general. Credit for everybody, because I want you to understand this is something that I learned probably about 10 years ago. I learned that you really have to have credit. I don't care if you don't want to buy anything right now, or it affects every aspect of your life. And that's something that I even had to work on, because the way I grew up, my dad always bought everything with cash. So he was like, nah, I don't use credit. And a lot of people are afraid of credit in that way. But if you don't use credit as you get older, especially in 2021, it ain't going down. You feel me knocking? You gotta have a credit game, or you will struggle. You gotta have that credit game up. Because finances are also a big part of relationships too. I want to bring that up because it's important. When you're financially messed up, you're in a bad spot just in any relationship you get into. Because ultimately you're going to be in a situation where you're either looking for somebody else to take care of you, or you don't have the ability to take care of somebody else, even if that's what you wanted to do. That's why so many people argue about money in relationships. Because people didn't get in a good situation, before they even got in a relationship. I actually got some video for a financial channel, so that's dope. For anybody who's trying to ask a question, use the super chat feature at the bottom. That's the cash symbol that's at the bottom. I'm gonna be on here for a few more minutes, so if you want to do questions today, hit that super chat feature. Y'all got to be supporting the chats, all right? Show love, show your support, and I will help you as best as I can. I'm giving my all. Give your all. Now, I don't consider myself to be a financial advisor, but I would tell you guys, for some of y'all who may be struggling with that situation, get your make sure first of all you want to clean your credit up, because I'm gonna give you this analogy about credit. Here's some of the things you might want to do as far as your credit, because this is near and dear to my heart. Because so many people that I've grown up around, so many people that are in my family even, are destroyed by a lack of knowledge. You know, and something I want to say about credit is this: with credit, there's a few steps that you want to take to improve your credit. Number one is you want to look at credit like it's a relationship. Credit is basically what people are saying about you on these streets. Thank you. Credit is basically what people are saying about you on these streets. All right. And credit works like this. If I came up to you and I was like, will you want to do business with me? And you don't know me from Adam's house cat, and nobody else that you know knows me, you're probably going to say no. If I came up to you and I said, do you want to do business? And the only people who know me are people who have something negative to say about me, then you probably wouldn't want to do business with me. Am I correct? That's how you have to understand credit to be. So the first thing you want to do is find out what people are saying about you. That means you need to look up your 3 credit bureaus, all 3 of them. All right. And there's some secondary bureaus and stuff like that. But just for the purposes of what we're talking about now, I'm going to get you, Catherine. Just for the purposes of what we're talking about now, you want to look up your 3 bureaus. All right. That's to see what everybody is saying about you. Okay. Once you look up your bureaus, it's like as far as you're improving your credit, look and make sure that everything that people are saying about you is accurate, that it's in date, because a lot of times it actually isn't. So some of the things that are on your credit bureau may not even be accurate. So you want to make sure you get some of that stuff off. And it's not as hard to get off as you think it is. But for a lot of people, because you already think your credit is really bad, some of y'all already done gave up hope. You don't even look on it and you don't even check it. Sometimes it's not as bad as you think it is. And sometimes even what is bad, you can actually fix. Okay. Then what you want to start doing once you clean off some of the bad stuff is you want to look at as many ways as you possibly can to get some of those accounts without actually getting inquiries. And there's plenty of different ways to go about doing it. There's a lot of videos about avoiding hard inquiries. You can even go on Noelle Randall's channel. She actually shows you that. There's different people that show you. I might make a video about it one day. But that's what you kind of want to do. Because basically what your credit is made up of is it's made up of your accounts, the positive accounts that you have, the age of those accounts, the number of payments that you've made. These are basically the things that your credit is made up of. This is kind of impromptu, so I ain't got everything right here for you, but this is basically what your credit is made up of. So if you want to improve your credit, you got to look and just look, see what's on there. It's not as bad as you think it is. It most likely is not as bad as you think it is, and it is fixable. All right, let's see what we got here. Catherine. Okay. If a 36-year-old guy that you just met said he wants kids, doesn't have any, but is not a deal breaker, and I don't want more kids, should I keep it moving? He's 36 years old. He says he wants kids, and you don't want any more kids. The reality of the situation is you don't want more kids because you already have kids. And he doesn't. Y'all may not be compatible if he wants kids and you've already had kids and you just don't want to have any more. Y'all may not be compatible if that's just not something you really want to do. Because the guy says he wants kids, but it's not a deal breaker. It's not a deal breaker right now, but in 2 or 3 years, it might be a deal breaker. And now you kind of entrenched in a relationship. If the dude is saying he wants kids and you say you don't want kids, I would also do this though. If you're still able to have kids, I would give myself a chance, because I don't know if it looks like you probably could, but I don't know if you had your tubes tied or something like that. So I don't know what your situation is. I'm not going to make an assumption. But yeah, where you're saying that, I would say this. If you have kids already and you don't want to have children, you don't want to have any more children, it's likely that if you keep that same attitude, you will break up down the road. But you also have to give yourself an opportunity to change your mind. If you're capable of still having children, you may not want to have kids now. But if you were in a relationship with this person, you really like this person, you enjoyed the relationship, you may change your mind somewhere down the road. You don't know. You see what I'm saying? You would have to let that relationship work out for a little while. So I say, you say you have grown kids. Okay, so if you got grown kids, you're probably not wanting to have any more kids. Let's keep it real. Who wants to start over again when they already got grown kids? The chances of this relationship working out are pretty freaking low. You can enjoy the relationship, you can have fun with this person, but you just gonna have to put your foot down about not having kids. You feel what I'm saying? If this man talking about getting married, having kids with you and all this kind of stuff, that sounds cool and everything. I would just enjoy the relationship until the situation came up. And if it did and you say, hey, I'm not having no kids, then just keep it moving. But I wouldn't really feel like it was a waste of time. See, this is where people get this waste of time thing too. If you're dealing with somebody who's considerably younger than you and they want to have children and you already got grown kids, tell them you don't want to have kids. Enjoy the relationship. Have a good time while you still can with the situation. And if it doesn't work down the road, then it doesn't work. If you see somebody while you're still dating this dude who's more in line with what you're looking for, and you guys' situation lines up a little bit better, then you might want to tell dude, hey, I'm going to let you fly free because I'm not trying to have no kids and I think you might change your mind, so I'm going to go move on. I'm just being real. But you do want to give yourself an opportunity. You always want to give yourself an opportunity to enjoy the relationship. If you can, if for somebody else who can still have kids, give yourself an opportunity to change your mind. Also, if you know you're not ever going to want to have kids, or you can't because you're grown up and you've done with all that, enjoy the relationship for as long as you can, if it's a good one. Because the worst he can do is leave you. The worst he can do is leave you, right? And that don't mean you didn't have fun in the relationship. So that's the way I look at it. Yeah, if you want to get married, I probably wouldn't necessarily get married to this dude because that is probably going to come up at some point in time. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy the relationship for as long as you can and enjoy having fun with this person and all of that. You don't got to just bounce today because you know you're not trying to have kids. So you don't got to bounce today. You can have a good time for as long as you want to. And then, if it doesn't work out, keep it moving to the next person. People always think somebody's wasting their time or they're wasting their time in a relationship. But what else would you be doing? If you found somebody else already, then move on with that person. If not, enjoy the company of the person that's around right now that you're having a good time with. What's wrong with that? Anybody else got a question? Hit that super chat, because I'm about out of here. Yeah, I want to say that to people also. Just give yourself an opportunity to change your mind. In any relationship, in any situation, sometimes what we do is we just shut down opportunities right away without even really giving ourselves a chance to change. Like just an opportunity to come up and it don't seem right, like, or it doesn't seem like we never even thought about it really, or we didn't want to do it, and we just like, I forget that. Man, give yourself a chance to change your mind. If somebody asks you, hey, do you want to try this opportunity? Instead of saying no, say I'll think about it. And actually go home and think about it. Yeah, I got several, there's several videos about maintaining positive relationship with your partner. I got one about secret ways to keep your man happy. You should check that video out. All right, so do we have any more people who want to hit that super chat button? If not, I'm about to get up off of here. I'll talk to y'all next Friday, God willing, and the creek don't rise. So I'll give y'all a couple minutes to do that. If anybody else want to come on. Make sure y'all go to ChazzEllis.com and get some of these premium videos that I have. They are really like that, bro. They are deep, in-depth game. I'm telling you, I'll be giving up so much game on these videos. Like Vivian came on here earlier and was talking to y'all about some of this stuff. Man, I've given people so much, and I don't want to say that to toot my own horn or nothing like that, but people have had great results, man, I'm telling you. It's people that have had really great results from these videos, from these different things that I've been talking about over the years. I'm underrated. This is something I've been doing for a while, but make sure you go on ChazzEllis.com. Check out some of these different videos. Like I said, I got Mastering Attraction, How to Get Them to Chase You, and The Business of Relationships. Those are really, really good, strong master classes that I want you guys to check out. There's a bunch of them on there, but those are just ones that I thought of today because of what we're talking about. So make sure you get on there and check those out. Make sure you check them out. All right, is that it? All right, it's your man Chaz Ellis. Make sure you like and subscribe if you have not already. Also, make sure you share this video. That's what's up. Make sure you share this information with somebody else if it's out. Make sure you check out some of the videos that I talked to you about on ChazzEllis.com. Peace.